Merry meet and welcome, everyone. This is the AstroTarot Show, and I'm your celestial host, Serona Rose. And we have a lot to talk about, but I just want to say that this is my birthday month. So for the next show that I'll be doing next week, I will actually include horoscopes for all of the signs. Not too lengthy because I do want to fill you in on what's going on with our planetary movements. But I will let you know what you can look forward to and what might be coming your way in the year to come. As saying that, there's a lot of shifts and there's a lot of happenings that's going on this month. Now, as I said, beginning of March, that March, April, and May are going to be very significant months. They're going to be very powerful months. And it's going to be, this is the energy that these 3 months are putting together is going to be game-changing energy. So this is about moving forward, leaving the past behind, really leaving what doesn't work, what is outdated, and what is harmful. Just kind of, it's not really used anymore. So it's time to get rid of that. Pluto in Capricorn really dug up a mess, and that energy is still being seen today of all of this disclosures that we're having. And this is on the grand scheme. This is not just one-sided. This is on both sides because Pluto is not discriminatory. Pluto pulls up that which has too much power, and he's like, you know what? You have gotten too much power. Basically, you've gotten too big for your britches. So I'm going to have to tone you down a notch. And we're seeing this globally, but we're also seeing that pushback of, especially from, Capricorn represents those top-down structures. So again, this isn't just one side or the other. This is the whole board. And it's being just churned up and brought to the top for all of us to see. And like I stated before, with Jupiter having that, the different aspects, it was the previous few shows I had, his different aspects is going to take this on the world stage. So it's going to be something that is going to be broadcast loud. And as Neptune is still in Pisces, we still have to be careful because that is the energy of illusion. Whereas that's a very spiritual energy, yes indeed, but is also the energy that can get one lost, that can get one caught up in the daydream or in a fantasy. And this can lead to addiction, such as, giving us this energy of escapism, wanting us to exit out our life for what it is, instead of actually changing it and going forward, just to slip off in a different world and start again. And we can see this with the development of so many of these different online communities. Now, that's neither good nor bad. We just have to remember that, as our minds can expand, our bodies are still here in 3D. So we have to be grounded with this. And I want to really get into talking about this full moon and how it was connected to Virgo, the last full moon. And that was talking to us about practicality and being efficient and not being wasteful. Virgo is the healer indeed, but they also are all about the practicality of things. It's like, why are you doing that? That is, you can't do it that way. We have to do it this way and kind of ease into it, not harming ourselves, not spiting or doing something in spite of something. So let's start off on April the 5th, my birthday, by the way. Yes, I'm an Aries, and of course, I'm going to do this, right? But anyway, the moon was square Mars and Mercury was square Saturn. And then on the full moon in Libra will be on April the 6th, and that'll be at 12:34 a.m. Eastern time. Remember, I am on the East Coast. I am the United States, so I always will tell by my time. Please adjust for your neck of the woods. We have that full moon at 12:34. And then on the 7th, we have Venus sextile Uranus. That's going to be some really good energy. We'll have on the 8th, Mars will sextile Mercury. Now, Mars and Mercury are two powerful planets. And you know, people like to categorize planets as are they good or bad? Do they, you know, what kind of energy do they carry? Well, I don't like to do that because to me, um, an energy is it is what it is, and it's our perception of it that labels it. So in saying that, and that's kind of, we're having to look outside of that egoic self, right? Having to step outside and not judge it, just to look at it and the energy that it is creating at the time that's happening. Mars is a warrior, and the warriors are good. They're there for a reason. You know, I would rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. There's a difference there. You always be prepared. Even when I studied martial arts, that was, you know, the main drive there was the peace. It was always to touch into nature and to look for the peace. If you're in trouble, get yourself out of it, but not to harm, right? Not to maliciously go after something. And I think that is that humanness. That is that humanness that we do, and we do kind of get to that malicious point, and we have to look at that. What is triggering us to get there? Yes, if you're being attacked, completely understand. It's all about self-preservation. That is the number one law of nature. I get it. But at the same time, that energy is useful. No matter how you want to look at it, as in fighting is bad. Yes, I would agree. But in times, it is needed, right? So I feel that these planets are neither good nor bad. They have an energy that they're there. They have a purpose to show us something, and it's up to us to get the lesson. You know, it can be there all time, and if you don't realize what's going on, you're still going to be confused by what's happening. So then on in Mars sextile in Mercury, that is good energy. That is really, really good energy. You talk about focus and drive to get something that you want. That is the energy you want in your back pocket. Then on the 11th, Venus will move into Gemini. This energy will change. She will be going from an earth grounded sign to an air sign. So it's going to take us into the mind. And this is going to be more of bringing the heart into the mind. And that is very important, because if we're too logical, too much in the mind, we're going to do things that's not really human. Okay, humans, we have these feelings, we have these range of different emotions, and this is a gift. And you know, our experience here, this life, our gift is an experience, and you know, we're here to live it, right? So that just entails all of that. So all of these planets are really wanting us to move forward, to have that push. You know, this is the month of the alder tree, and the alder tree is all about pioneering, and they were on the front line. You know, the alder tree was on the front line in that war. I can't think of the name of it. It's probably really, really simple, and I didn't write it down, so I can't think of it. But it was there. It was the pioneer. It led the way. It says, you know, I can strategize this. I can do what is needed to clear the path for the workers, which is, you know, Taurus. Taurus comes next. I produce. So we see how this is falling in. But in order for us to go forward, we have to release that past. We have to release that which is no longer needed. And that can be very hard, because we can become attached to things. We can be, we can just be so so comfortable with something, and moving on takes a lot. It takes us out of that comfort zone. So Jupiter is still in Aries, and Jupiter reminds me of the god Didacta. He's joyous. He's you know, he's happy, but Jupiter's about long distance travel as well, um, and he is also constantly, he is also looking for that higher consciousness, that future vision. He's always looking forward to bigger and better. And with the sun, when he just wants to reach out to the cosmos, right, and grab that bright new future for us. Now, when he meets up with the sun, this will expand Aryan energy of the I am. And this is about living in the present. Aries teaches us to appreciate the present day because, as horrible as it may sound, we're not promised tomorrow. And for those of us who have experienced big traumatic things in our lives that have shown us that you're not promised tomorrow, you go through these different kinds of initiations, you understand how important the present moment is, and to learn how to sync that up and to just soak that up and to be very, very grateful for everything that you have in that moment. Living from the present and live simply. Live simply, not more chaotic. Understand that all of these pieces, and that is when we're gonna talk about these pieces in a minute. I don't want to get that too far, but this is also about seeing a goal and deciding on how the best possible avenue for you to get there and going for it. This is individualism. This is it's not in the selfish way, although it can be, of course, that that can that swivels both ways. This is the I know who that I am, that I am. I know. And this is speaking very, very clear right now, because there's a lot of things that are distracting us, Neptune in Pisces, that the media, the this, that's these pretty little shiny things that grab us in our grab that drama gene that we have, that we just got to go after, right? That tries to drag us away, but it's keeping us from the focus. And we have to be careful. We have to, with this Aryan energy, this is like, no, this is not good for me. This is what I am. This is who I am. This is what I think. This is my integrity. This is my values. It's using that voice. This is high achieving energy. So, you're going to want to go for the gold, and it's a strong sense of self. And, if you really work with this energy, you can really develop self-esteem and learn to really trust in your gut. So living in the present, and that is what helps us find our true power. That helps us really tap into our solar plexus and gain that inner strength that we need. That, like I've stated before, these past few years have been about attacking our lower chakras, attacking our roots of who we are, attacking our creativity, our sacredness. It's called a sacral chakra for a reason. This is our sacredness. That is attacking that, and then attacking who we are, our values, our inner strength. So we can really use this to work. We can use this energy to work at learning how to, to allow that to balance out, to align, and then to find our own inner power. Now, let me talk about full moons really quick. Full moons are they illuminate the shadows. They represent an ending, a completion, the end of one cycle, the beginning of another. It also represents our subconscious. And so this is an ending, yes, but it's also a place where it shines the light on the subconscious. It shines the light on that which has been hidden and brings it to the consciousness. And this is, excuse me. So, and this is, those things that we never not acknowledged before. And with Chiron, not too far away, that was, Chiron was involved in this Libra full moon. It's going to be square. Chiron will be square this Libra full moon. And with Chiron here, it's going to be very healing. It's going to illuminate the health of the body, and not just not just, okay, I'm taking my medicine, but no, it's going to look at it's going to encourage you to look at the stuff that you're taking, what you are putting in your body, what are you putting on your body, how are you treating your mind, your mental health. This is also spiritual. It's going to go into, because Chiron is the bridge. Chiron is part animal and part human. He is the bridge that combines our animalistic nature with our human higher consciousness. So this is going to be very important, because we're going to start learning how important sound and vibration is. It is so important that these correct energies that align are. I mean, it's absolutely wonderful when you're able to get sound healing and you understand how important sound is, especially the voice. So I want to talk about our last full moon in Virgo on the 7th. This was about purification, and it was about cleansing. Virgo is the healer, so it is, and it's very strongly connected to the earth. And it's seeking, and Virgo seeks to understand. This is associated with the health of the body, finding, making sure that you are feeding it and caring for it healthfully. And it's also tied in with that is the need to feel safe and secure. And that is about our grounding, feeling safe and secure that everything is going to be okay. Now, this is practical energy. This is efficient energy. So the deity association with a Virgo is Demeter, Ceres, and it is also the goddess Shala. And the statues will always show them holding wheat in their hands. And this is saying that, yes, she is the goddess of the harvest, but she also knows exactly how every piece, this little bitty, the macrocosms, everything, the smallest detail, how it all just fits right into place in perfect harmony. She knows this. She knows that how to place all of these different pieces of the puzzle of life together. And she fully understands natural law. So on that last full moon, Orcus, which is a dwarf planet, was at 13 degrees of Virgo, and that's, he doesn't really move, but he was conjunct Virgo the full moon. Now, Orcus is an Etruscan god of the Underworld. He was also called the Dispater, which is the good father. He represented divine justice. And Orcus had this special role. He was the punisher of the broken oaths. Those who violated the sacred law and divine order. He would take them to face retribution, to face the truth of what they did. So they would have to me, it reminds me of the Egyptian, where, having to weigh the heart, and if the heart is not as light as the feather, they would have to face the Egyptian gods. That reminds me of that. Now, after that full moon, Jupiter had a conjunction with the full moon. And that was really increasing. That was like a jolt to that energy. So, Ceres is at 25 degrees of Virgo. And this is further pushing natural law adherence. She is about the sacred law of nature, as well as Virgo, and it's bringing back the sacredness. What is sacred? And Orcus connects us to divine law, the sacred law of nature, of the natural world. And Libra, this full moon that we're going to have, will enhance the law and justice aspect. So that will definitely encourage more of the balance and justice. So the full moon in Libra, this is going to like level the playing field. And in this, we have Uranus and Venus that are in Aquarius, and this is about the love of fairness. We're going to have this will also encourage radical changes. It will encourage those changes and techniques to get us there. So this is when the seeker then becomes the warrior. So this is the soul and the ego can go in and to start having a battle, because we're starting to see how all of this undoing is happening. So I want to talk a little bit about about Venus, because Venus is really playing into this. Venus is Libra's sign, and when Venus is in Taurus, she's wonderful. When she conjuncts Uranus, that is going to bring an awakening to her, almost like a jolt. So this full moon, that's why I'm saying this full moon is going to really highlight that. This energy says was going to touch on our relationships. We can have sudden changes in our relationships. Also banking, money, our monies. That's going to bring more of that. And we want to look at these other energies that are impacting this, because as this Libra full moon is bringing balance and justice, it's opposing Aries, which is the self. Okay, so this is balancing again our needs with the needs of with ourselves, with the needs of others. So we're having to balance out it. Okay, this is good for me, but is this also going to be good for others? And we're going to have to, when we think about this, we have to think that we are balancing out Aries, which is independence, okay? And then, Aries is about independence, it's autonomy, and then we're balancing that with dependence and companionships, relationships. Aries sun supports the authenticity by independent effort. It supports you going forth and being the unique person that you are, by doing it yourself, being a self-made person. Doing that, Aries energy supports that. But Libra is saying that moon will illuminate this conflict on the inside, the inner part of that is, is this aligning? Is this going to balance it out? Are you going too far? You can go too far. Full moons are like a reveal. So it's going to show us what is hidden in that. Venus she is having a conversation right now with the fixed star Algol, which is Algol. Now, this is really, really interesting because this is highlighting, this will be highlighting relationships with powerful women. Algol is related to Medusa. Okay, she is often called Medusa. She's considered very striking. But she sits at 26 degrees of Taurus, and and is considered wicked, but is it? Again, everything has a purpose, right? So this fixed star is linked to beheading, and it usually is highlighted when heads of state experience like a fall from grace. That's the energy of this. When heads of state, when they were thought one way, believed to be another way, and then it's revealed that no, that's not really what happened. That's not what goes on. That means they're going to be revealed for who they are. And we're starting to see this. Again, this is across the board. This is from all of that. We're seeing the what is hidden. This also connects to treason and ideological takeovers, as well as higher learning. Now, the lower information, the lower vibration of this, again, we can have higher, we can have lower because we like to judge these, right? So this can be an overload of info that we cannot fully understand. And that is very imperative because people really get upset with me sometimes when I just stop explaining something to them because they're not going to understand it. There's so many times you can explain something to someone you have to finally understand that they are not going to get it. The saying, we all know that you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And the rest of that, and I'm going to say the wholeness of that is, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink just because you're thirsty. That is very important not to leave out, just because you're thirsty. Some people just are not in a place, we have to understand that people can only understand to the level that they can understand, and we can't push that on them, and we shouldn't push that on them. Pushing stuff on people will, it kind of messes them up a little bit. They get the wrong idea about things. But also, this also is this is about perverse behaviors. It's about brainwashing, the shadow side of nature. But it can be regeneration, and mind-blowing ideas. So these are very, this is very linked to media. So this is really going to be interesting to see how this is played out with Venus meeting up, in Taurus. Venus in Taurus, that's linked to finance, it's linked to material, it's linked to the physical things that we have. So we have a lot of planets in Aries right now. Jupiter, the Sun, and Aries. That is, Aries is the sister of Aries and has a 500-year orbit. She is a warrior goddess. She's known as a goddess of discord and chaos. She was the one that threw the apple into the party that she wasn't invited into, and it said to the most beautiful, and all the goddesses fought over it, which ultimately led, as they say, to the Trojan War. So she is relentless. She is about defending those that do not have a voice, that have been pushed back on the back burner, as in their feelings doesn't matter. They don't matter. We're seeing this right now happen as well. In Aries always tells us to get off our butt and get things going. With the Sun, Jupiter, Vesta, Chiron, as well as Eris, that is all of those lined up in Aries. This is very, very powerful energy, and it's supporting those whose voices do not get heard. This is not in frivolous ways. This is not in that way of the surface, because we have to look deeper. We have to look to the roots. Again, as society, we always want to take that magical pill and we want to fix the surface so everything just looks beautiful, while underneath it's dead and withering away. We have to fix the root. You can take a pill for whatever you want, but until that root is fixed, you're still going to be sick. Band-aid all you want. We have to fix the roots of things. So Chiron represents woundings, the wounds of the past, in coming back up. This could be stuff in our childhood. This could connect us also to, it could connect to past lives, especially with, Saturn floating around in the Pisces, and that's what he's doing. He's trying to make reason right now. But, again, we have to understand, we are on the third dimension, and as our minds can expand to the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, we are in a physical body. So it's very important for us to understand that we go by the natural law here. There's a natural order in our world. Vesta represents the Vestal virgins, about purity and sacredness. This is sacredness for the self, as well as sacredness of the sexuality, virtue and faith and family. This is about the hearth and home. A home was your safety. The home was where your grounding was. This was the mother. They called Vesta the mater, the mother. She's connected to Hestia. So she's seldom, this is the thing, she's seldom engaged in drama, because drama is that negative energy. It is a draining energy. So this is about, again, purity and sacredness. She also, let's see here. Orator Ciccio stated that she is the guardian of the innermost thing, sanctity of the house, and securing tranquility. That is very, very powerful. That in order to have tranquility, that home has to be, you have to have that firm foundation. And that's what the home represented. Her sister is Ceres, which is represents Cancer. So, and her brother is Jupiter. I mean, Ceres is in Cancer. I'm so sorry. Ceres is in Cancer, and Vesta's brother is Jupiter, and that's in Aries. So you see how this is really calling us back to figuring out this placement of what is best for me as well as others. So let's get into Jupiter really quick, because he is grandiose. He makes things bigger than they are. That is Jupiter. He's called the Sky Father, and he is linked to the political entity, which is Rome. His sign is the eagle, which means war. And he was the one that was used to secure victories, victories over rivals. He commanded the storms, and he oversaw wars or controlled them. So he held the fate, it is believed that he held the fate of the Roman Empire in balance. Isn't that something? So the grand temple to Jupiter is Optimus Maximus in the Capitoline Hill, which is pretty much now destroyed. It was the Jupiter stone was there, and it was there was also found a red painted statue of Jupiter, and the stone altar was called Jupiter Lapis. That was the oath taker's stone. That is where the oath takers took their sacred vows. So we have to, now Jupiter is known as this joyous and happy god, and just like the Dagda is also joyous, but the Dagda himself carried the cauldron of life. And here Jupiter, again, oath takers. Again, we're brought in oath. This is really pulling me to look at how people who are called into oath-bounding positions, how are they holding up to their oaths? Are they doing what they said they would do? This is very interesting as we are going on. And now the sun, it represents the core of who we are. It describes our basic nature and our strengths and attitudes, the understanding of things. It outlines what motivates us. So this is, it's very self-directed. It's driven by our own desires. And, when he's in Aries, he is very much driven, very much ready to go. That is great, powerful energy. So this Libra full moon is really going to bring us back in more to a balance. It will, I do feel that it's going to do more exposure of things that were hidden from us. All of these around, it's going to be, voices will be heard that haven't been heard. And there's people out there who, we have to understand, we get into this mindset of, this is how I am. If you don't like me, that's just you. And I can get that. I understand that. But as we are looking at, we're all living here and we are all coexisting, we have to look at that Libra side of it, that balance that occurs, right? That's why our homes are, should be our sacredness, should be our place of sanctity, our sanctuary. That is, our homes are so important in building that foundation and really looking at that and looking at all aspects. our world right now is being turned upside down, and we're having to look at it in different ways. We are definitely seeing how we are being disillusioned to many things, and the stars have been telling us, our celestial bodies have been telling us. And you know, I wanted to start including the dwarf planets, because the dwarf planets, to me, they're very important because they remind us of our cultural history. These dwarf planets, they represent the ancient history and teachings from our indigenous ancestors that are getting lost in time. They help us understand that we are all a part of a divine order, and they help us to grow to higher consciousness and to a higher octave of consciousness, I should say. So I'm going to end it right there. I hope I did not go over. I forgot to set my timer, so I do apologize. But next week I'll throw in some horoscopes that will talk about each sign and what they can look at, what they can look forward to in the year to come, as well as more celestial updates. Because guys, also stay tuned to one of my YouTube or Rumble channels. I do updates on there as well. I try to cover everything, but of course I can't. 30 minutes is not long enough. We could go on and on. So let's see what our cards have to say. Stay tuned for the tarot part of the show. Can't wait to see what they have to say.